Hey YouTube, how you doing? Just finished up the bike. I got the what do you call it there? The new forks on. Well, not new forks, but the whatchamacallit there, the rebuilt ones. Got those done and on. I got the new cylinder head on, new gasket, torque down, new plug, and I put the sprocket, the 37 tooth on the back. So got that. I had to take a link out of the chain because it's much smaller. The link is actually the hub is basically almost the diameter of my whatchamacallit there, sprocket. So 37 tooth, 15 in the front, high compression head, electronic ignition. What do you call it there? Tomorrow I'm expecting, well, hopefully, I'm expecting to see 65 on the straightaway at wide open throttle. So we'll see how it goes, and I gotta fill the tire pressures up. Tire pressure's a little low, and I'm gonna do that before I take off in the morning, and go from there. But it looks like everything came out alright. No casualties. The new rubbers are in. I put those in the back there. So I checked the chain. Chain is within spec, so it's not stretched as I thought it was. So, and it's all nice and tight now. It doesn't move. So that's a plus. Definitely should have that nice and tight and plus. And everything moves nicely. Tires are in decent shape. So looks like this thing's gonna be a runner. So, well, I mean, it is a runner. It's registered, but I'm gonna ride tomorrow. And yeah, I know, Angel. I'll get you a cup. See how it goes, and we'll go from there. So this is that's it for this bike. This bike project is done. It's all my upgrades I wanted to do to it. I mean, I'll put new tires on eventually, but as far as the upgrades, that sprocket, the head, the ignition, and that's it. That's pretty much it. I can't think of anything else I want to do to it. She's ready to go. So, yes, Andrew, I'll get you a cup in a second. So anyway, that's it for this this series on this 100 Kawasaki. I am doing the 12 volt conversion videos. They'll still be up, but those are not for this bike. Those are not for this bike right here. Those are gonna be for the other style, because you can't do that conversion with the what do you call it, electronic ignition. But if everything works out, as planned, I will see if I can figure a way of doing it on the electronic ignition. So my next project is the Yamaha Moto 4. I have to install I had to extract the idle mixture screw out of here. So I had to it was so bad in there, I actually had to cut the carburetor back. There's like a little tube here that the screw slides into. I actually had to cut that back just to extract the screw, and I got it out, and I put a new one in with some Never-Cease in there. That thing was a bear to get out. I mean, it took me like, I'm not even kidding you, like 2 hours. I'm just trying not to ruin the body, because it's the only one I got. But, I mean, I cleaned the shit out of the carburetor, and it still looks like hell. This thing spent like almost 4 hours in the ultrasonic cleaner. And I'm surprised that video I did where the bike actually ran as good as it did was with this carburetor, believe it or not. It had a hesitation when you throttled up, and I have to adjust that mixture screw. I went to adjust it, and whoever did it before me stripped it right out. So I'm like, oh my god, what am I gonna do? So I drilled through it. I tried an extractor. The extractor just stripped out the brass, and you're not gonna believe this, but I drilled back into it a little bit more, and I used, and this is gonna sound so stupid, but it actually happened. I used a pen cap. I had it just enough. I jammed it in, and I turned it, and this took it out. I could not get it out with an extractor with pressure. take the pressure off. I was able to get it off with the tip of this. See how I ruined it. But, and I'm going to get you your cup in a second. I actually ruined the end of the cap. Aww. But it did. I pushed it in and it took it right out. I couldn't believe it. I tried everything. I couldn't do it. But, so now we got this here going on the Moto 4. And we're going to get that adjusted up. And I got to do a valve adjustment on that. So, there's going to be some videos on the Moto 4. And I got the go-kart projects coming up. My brake caliper. I have to put on my, what do you call it there? The Suzuki Intruder 750. That'll be done tomorrow. The brake pads will be in tomorrow for that. So, I'm going to do a video on the brakes on the, what do you call it there? God, I can't think tonight. I'm just fried. This took a lot out of me. The Suzuki Intruder, what do you call it there? 750 brakes and how to bleed them. So we're gonna be doing that. I did one on the I didn't do one on the clutch, but the clutch is fine. But I'm gonna explain where it's located and all that. So we're gonna be going over that. But I got some cool projects coming up. So I can't wait. We're gonna do the head gasket on the that four-wheeler. Okay, here's the head gasket kit right here for the TRX 250 there for that four-wheeler to get it to stop smoking. I believe it's the head gasket that's gone, and typically what happens is, see right here, you get your head bolts, there's nothing in the middle over here, and they blow right here, and when you put back pressure to it, where the head gasket's gone, it'll actually suck motor oil in through that way. That's a possibility. I don't think it's a ring. The way this thing runs is so smooth, so powerful, but it's got valve seals. We're going to go over the whole top, the 4-stroke head. We're going to set the timing on it, and we're going to do videos on that. That's for the Honda TRX 250 I have. And I was going to put the four-wheeler together, but I think this motor is actually going to end up on a go-kart. I think that would be cool. I'm going to be doing a Yamaha Virago air filter modification video. And I also have a, on my Virago, this is not for the Virago. This is for a V-Star, but we're going to, I'm going to show you how to modify this to fit. This is an oil filter relocation kit. This is an absolute pain in the neck to get off. Basically what we're going to be doing, so what we're going to be doing is replacing this style filter, this little dinky little filter, which is inside this filter, basically same thing, without the shell, which makes it hard. When you pull it off, all the shit falls into the bottom of it, and the dirt is still basically in your engine, not in your filter. So this is what the bike requires for a filter right now, which actually goes under that cover on the back side of it. And when we're done, that's not going to happen. There won't be no filter in there. So we're going to take the filter out and get rid of that filter altogether. This is going to bolt where the filter housing goes. Has the two braided steel lines, stainless steel lines, going into an oil, chrome oil filter that screws on and off. And this is going to help us better with the, what do you call it there, oil changes. It's a little easier to do. This is a chrome filter. It's actually in plastic right now because it's brand new. And then we're going to take a ride over to the Harley Davidson dealer, and they have a nice cool chrome sleeve that goes over this with cooling fins over it, and actually turns your oil filter into an oil cooler. And we might even put a fancy little pressure gauge on it just to make it look awesome. I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet. I might even get longer lines and relocate this totally different. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. But this is basically just to give you an idea of some of the videos that are going to be coming up. The Yamaha Moto 4 is a 80cc. I might be trading my green bike, my green, what do you call it there, Kawasaki KE100 for a KX60. strictly off-road bike. The thing's a lot of fun, so we'll be doing some videos on that. That's going to need some work done to it. And my petcock came in for the KD80, the parts one there, that I had that old tank from the bike I cut up onto the bike I got in trade. Or not trade, I found, or whatever the hell it was. I don't know if that was the bike I traded or if that was the bike I pulled out of the scrap. Doesn't matter, it's one of those bikes. So I bought a brand new petcock for it, for that tank, and some nice clear fuel line. So that's going to go on that bike. So we got some projects going on. I did order a KE100 clutch. So I might be doing a clutch to this bike. I'm not exactly sure yet. I'm still in the process of, the clutch, there's nothing wrong with it, but just for the video of how to do a clutch. So there's a few what do you call it there, projects I got going on. I have a Suzuki Ozark 250 that I have to rebuild the rear end, and the rear end blew up in it. So we're going to be uncovering some stuff. We're going to be doing some modifications to go-karts. My dune buggy, the brake bleed on that. So we got a lot of projects. So I'm going to take you guys on this journey with me and get some of my equipment up and going. And we're going to build a dual snowblower for the front of my Kawasaki Brute Force 650. That's going to be fun. It's going to have its own 2 snowblowers bolted together with pony motors, no drivetrain, and we're going to be able to pick them up with the winch. So I got some really cool projects literally going on, and so I'm going to take you on this crazy journey with me and show you some stuff, and hopefully it inspires you. And as always, if you have any questions, tips and tricks, that's what I do, and show you the way I do things and allow you to be able to use my information to help you out with your projects. And if you have a project that I do not have, feel free to send me pictures, shoot me information about it, and maybe I might be able to help you with your diagnostics of it, and be able to help you, figure out which way to take your project, And I do trade swap and stuff like that. Not my personal stuff, but my stuff I really don't use, like that parts bike. So I'm going to be trading that, and hopefully get a cool little 60 out of it. Those bikes are pretty peppy. It's a KX16 1999. Guy wants an on-road enduro, on-off-road enduro. So he could take that parts bike and do that. What do you call it? This thing is really bad with the. Here we go. I don't know if that helps or not. The electrical conversion to from 6 volts to 12 volts is going to be on the dummy motor, which is going to be on that stand over there. So that's we're going to do that. We're going to wire it. We're going to make it all work and get it going. So I'll be looking forward to doing that. We'll be doing that pretty soon. So as always, thank you for watching. Please subscribe, and I hope these videos help you out. Thank you. Have a great night.